Welcome back to TC 911 Beyond the Call, the Tarrant 911 District podcast. I'm your host, Abbey Dudek, the communications coordinator here at Tarrant 911 District. This is episode 6, and I am here with William, one of the dispatchers at Tarrant Regional Communications Center in Everman. How are you doing, William?
Doing pretty good. I'm all right.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to do it.
Oh, that's fabulous. I love it. So how long have you been a dispatcher or in communications?
Take my time from being a police officer and filling in as a dispatcher for my prior agency, probably going on about 18 years.
Okay. You're a police officer for. Where was your prior agency at?
Forest Hill.
Oh, okay, fun. All right, awesome.
So
I'm trying to think if
when you were talking about the Christmas decorations that were coming up, I remembered Janice Humphrey decorating the dispatch office all the time, and she won an award for it one year.
Yeah, Janice did a lot of the decorating and things like that. So
she loved doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's fun. She's sweet too. So you were. So did you start your public safety career as a police officer with Forest Hill? Is that where it all began?
Yes, ma'am. Back in 2000.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. And then tell me about the transition, how you went from there into the dispatching role of it.
Well, this was actually just, I got out of law enforcement in 2017 and got out of it completely. I didn't think that dispatching was anything that I would want to do. And then Craig Spencer, the city manager here at Everman, reached out to me this past January and said, hey, we're absorbing Tarrant County Fire Alarm. I'd love for you to come work with us. What do you think? And it took me about 2 minutes to decide, yes, I will come out and have a look at everything, and been fun ever since. I didn't realize how much I've missed being in communications or amongst law enforcement and firefighters again. I never thought I would miss public service like I did.
Oh, you just know it's your calling. You're just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it's a really great center. So, I mean, you guys have a brand new dispatch center here, and
even in just a few months
awesome.
I've been here, it seems like it's come leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah. Well, I even walked in, I was like, oh, wow, this place is really spruced up in here. That is fun. Everyone loves a new home. That's what it is.
Oh,
it's like new digs. You're like, this is great. I love it. That's super.
Oh, yeah.
So you're on so that we can explain to the public how Tarrant Regional Communication Center works here in Everman. And we had this in season 2 when we spoke to your communications manager, Beverly. But you dispatch for Tarrant County Fire Alarm.
Correct.
Okay. So do you want to tell us about that, how that works?
So if I remember correctly, we dispatch for 200 plus square miles of unincorporated Tarrant County. So we dispatch for White Settlement Fire Department, Azle Fire Department, Lake Worth Fire Department, Tarrant County area, Rendon, Everman, Forest Hill. I think all in all, it's about 10 agencies that we dispatch for on a regular basis. And coming from municipal dispatch at Forest Hill, we're dispatching for Forest Hill Fire Department, to a regional dispatch center where we're covering county areas and not just municipal. It's a little bit more complex, a little bit more confusing, because I don't really understand where Everman essentially covers. I recognize the addresses and I think, well, wait a minute, isn't that over in Kennedale? No, that's part of Everman's fire response area. So it's been a huge learning curve for me.
I'm sure. Like just jurisdictions alone when you're doing more county stuff, I have no doubt that can be a little complicated at times, and trying to learn that. Oh my gosh. I always think of like Tarrant County sheriffs, or you guys doing the Tarrant County Fire Alarm. I'm like, how do you know where everybody is at?
The wonder of computers.
Yeah,
Thank God for the Tarrant County 911 map, the Vista map when it pops up on the phone, because if it's a street name that I don't recognize, at least I can look up there and it says, okay, so this is a general area, so I can kind of focus in on my head.
The color coordinated.
Right, yeah. I have an idea as to who I'm going to go, and then the computer system will tell me exactly who I need to send.
I love the color coded map that tells you, what's your space and what's not your space.
Right.
Kind of thing. So that's always the best. Well, that's exciting. I like it how you are still within the public safety family and everything. And so you went ahead and applied for it because obviously Craig came and was like, hey, check this out. What was your initial just, I mean, you talked about why I wanted to get back into public safety and everything, or you were somewhat interested, but you weren't maybe fully sold. So what really drove you over to be like, okay, I want to get back in this. I want to go ahead and put my.
It was literally Craig.
Yeah. Shout out to Craig.
It was Craig. It's hard for me to not call him Craig anymore because I've known him from when I was a patrol officer. So whenever he comes inside the dispatch office, I have to remember, hey, chief or city manager or something like that.
FYI to the public, this is Chief Craig Spencer here at good old Everman. He has done amazing things for this city. So that's who we're talking about. So
for me, it was on the day. Yeah, I talked to my fiance about it, and she said, this is really something you ought to do. You miss it a lot. Why don't you go on ahead and apply for it? What's the worst that happens? And when I walked in the door to meet with Beverly and turn in my application, that's when I thought, nope, this is where I'm supposed to be. It just at home. It was like walking inside your house at the end of the day.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I love that. I just I've said it in other podcasts. It's like the crystallizing experience, where something happens inside you where you're supposed to do this, or this is what your talent, gifts, your whole shtick is this. And I think that's an amazing thing to have that experience.
Correct.
To know where you belong. Now, when you came here, did you think you'd stay, or did you think that I'll do this for a little bit, or?
I'm not going anywhere.
You're here for the long haul.
Yeah, I'm here for the long haul. There's too many wonderful things going on in this city under the management, under Beverly. Mm-hmm. I don't want to miss any of that.
Oh, absolutely. So there you go, Beverly. You don't have to worry. He's staying. You don't have to replace him. He's good. What's your goals in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Are you, with the growth of what this regional communication center, the potential it could be? What are some things maybe you thought about, or maybe some things that you've discussed that you would like to do in the next 5 years?
I would like to promote through the ranks if it's possible. If the center grows, then there's going to be more room for other supervisors or assistant managers or anything like that, and I know that the center wants to grow. Just got to get the people on board to come with us. If that's proving that we actually know what we're doing, then maybe that's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. But I would like to promote. I would like to be able to train. As soon as I'm more confident with everything that's going on in that office, I would love to be able to train new dispatchers.
Oh, sure. Now, do you do the other side too, or do you just stick with Tarrant County Fire Alarm?
I just stick with the fire alarm side of it. I'll help out on the PD side, because it's what I call, we've got two different sides of the houses in that office. We got the fire side and we got the PD side. And if the PD side gets real bogged down, or, if one of the girls, one of the ladies decides to go get lunch, run over here into the break room, or they've, up moving around or something like that, I'll jump in and I'll help by answering the phones, and I'll jump on the radio if I can. I just don't have the same software they have. So I don't always know who's available. Or,
gotcha.
I can dispatch out the calls all day long if I wanted to. I just don't know, since they cover Everman and Forest Hill.
Right.
I can dispatch for Forest Hill all day long. I just need to know who's covering what side of town. And we're golden on that.
Yeah, you're good with Forest Hill.
On the Everman side of it, it'd be like, Everman 187, I got a call for you. And I just let them figure out who, if it really push came to shove, I'd get it figured out one way or another. But
well, sure. Yeah. What would you think about cross training? If you wanted to dispatch for PD, what were your thoughts on how you would like to do that?
I think it would be excellent.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be fun. You seem really eager to learn so much and just to really jump and dive in there. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah. The police dispatchers are going to get bogged down with work.
Yeah.
No more.
Lots of calls. Yeah.
Right. No different than the fire dispatchers. Fire and EMS dispatchers are going to get bogged down. And somebody else that knows how to handle that, if we can jump on that radio channel and we can provide assistance, even if it's just answering different types of questions on the phone, extra hands aren't going to hurt.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And then with you saying that with calls and stuff, the fire alarm, you guys are getting, did they just transfer the calls over? You're getting transferred over from the sheriff's department or from Azel or something like that.
Correct.
Too. Okay.
Right.
And
they just transfer it straight to us, and they, it's Azel with a transfer at this address, and we can go straight on into that.
Yeah, and that's for the public too. That's that's what we call a secondary PSAP or secondary communication center, or however you want to say it, is that those calls that they get at Tarrant County Fire Alarm are transferred from, because they all come into a 911 line, but then they get transferred if it's, fire EMS in that area, particularly on your guys' area for Tarrant County Fire Alarm. So I love that your eagerness to be like, I could take some calls. I could take like the direct calls, that they're getting on the other side and stuff like that. Cause that's a whole other ball game.
It really is. On the fire side of it, sometimes our callers are a little bit frustrated because they don't understand why they're getting
it's the transfer part.